Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Control Biz Reboot Now. This is, of course, brought to you by the Department of Trade and Industry, particularly the Ecom Group, and also by THEMS International Business School and the Philippine Trade Training Center. Pangalawang araw o pangalawang session po natin nitong tatlong araw na webinar. We have actually prepared 9 sessions, and this afternoon is actually very interesting dahil pag-uusapan po natin ang taxes. Yes, taxes. Alam ko po, sa panahong ito, karamihan sa inyo, isa sa mga ayaw pag-usapan ay taxes. But I think with the presenter, with the guest that we had this afternoon, we can clear things out. You can even find out how you can be of help to the country, yung sabi nga nating nation building, how you can help the community through the taxes that we pay. And of course, ang pinaka-focus po talaga natin ngayon ay online taxation. Ladies and gentlemen, our resource person this afternoon who may cover what taxes do we need to pay, can we issue invoices or e-receipts, can we get BIR, COR online, and what are the requirements among others, is actually the chairman or founding chairman of the Asian Consulting Group, and he's a tax consultant of celebrities, author of many books, and he's also been talking about taxes and related contents to a lot of people, particularly to the celebrities. He's a tax consultant. And we're also very happy, before I introduce finally to you our speaker this afternoon, masaya rin po tayo dahil kasama po natin ngayon ang isa pong, palagay ko, hinahangaan sa Philippine television, si James Reid. Okay, so ngayon po, pag-uusapan po natin yung taxes. So as I was saying early on, maybe Mika can now start sharing the, okay, so there you go, the Philippines' first tax hub for MSMEs in Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you Mr. Mon Abria, Chairman and Senior Tax Advisor. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Nelly. Good afternoon to all our viewers and everyone who will be able to watch this webinar or presentation. And I hope those who are live right now, please do share, because I will not just be giving a lecture. No, I think I'll be sharing a lot of good news as well. I just received a copy of the Senate bill that will grant us tax exemption. So tune in, because I will discuss it towards the end. But in the duration of this masterclass, you will be learning a lot. And we will also, of course, talk about how ECG takes advantage of technology, because we have our own TaxSwiss PH mobile app. I think we will play our video just to give everyone an idea of what we do at ECG.
Most people are afraid of taxes, even the word itself lang.
Why should we pay taxes? We know where our money is going. There's no point in it.
But the thing is, sa lahat naman ng ginagawa natin, halos may kakibat na taxes.
Just because they're not following the law doesn't mean that we shouldn't, because then nothing gets done.
ACG wants to help other
Young businessmen, young entrepreneurs,
make sure their taxes are good, they understand what tax is all about.
a fairer playing ground when it comes to business. There's no excuse being ignorant and not knowing about it, because knowledge really is power.
Kailangan lang ma-educate and ma-orient yung mga tao na magbayad ng maayos.
They're really trying to help everyone out by paying less taxes, but legally and paying it right.
Hindi dapat matakot yung mga tao sa pagbabayad doon.
Hey, we're all working together in one ecosystem. Let's make the ecosystem stronger.
Lahat ng gagawin mo ngayon will affect yung tomorrow.
And by paying taxes, we're helping actually everybody.
Yes, and before we formally begin the masterclass, I would like to invite our Vice President, a fellow founder, a co-creator of this amazing mobile app. And let's find out how is he right now, because I haven't seen him as well. James, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi,
Hi, Mark.
James. How are you? It's
I'm
been a
good.
long, long while.
Staying sane.
Staying sane.
Yes.
So you've been
Hello to the viewers out there watching right now. Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, I'm not here to talk today. I'll leave all the talking to Juan Brea because he loves it much.
no, but James, you've been very quiet now in social media. Siyempre, I'm also checking on James Reid, diba? How's everything? Kamusta? What have you been doing? And your hair with the brown hair.
Yeah, I know it's so long.
You need to cut the hair.
No, I'm not gonna cut it.
So how are you?
I've-
What have you
I've
been
okay.
doing?
I've been okay. I've been focused more on music and setting up my businesses. Careless and Island City, my two companies. We've been doing everything we can while we're at home to make sure that by the time that things go back to normal, we're ahead of everyone else. We're not just sitting around doing nothing. We want when we come out of this, we come out on top. So we get a head start. So that's kind of our attitude. That's how we're looking at it at quarantine.
Actually, Asik Jean, nandiyan ka ba? I would like to tell everyone, no, before we even talk about this new normal, maximizing the digital platforms. James is actually talking about it like 2 years ago. He's been talking about digital platforms, Asik Jean. Dapat itong consultant mo sa digital platforms. Asik Jean, hindi ako nagbibiro. No, walang halo. James is one of the very non-showbiz person in show business. His mind is like in blockchain technology. Remember, James? The first time he went into my office, there was a time he went to my room and he started talking about blockchain. I was like, blockchain. Then he started talking about more digital platforms. You want to use, that is the future. I was like, yes, I support you, James. But honestly, it's not really getting into my mind how that digital platform, and who would have thought that this day would come? And it's a blessing in disguise that we have slowly embraced technology. So, James, what's really in your mind? Is it a lucid interval or an lucid dreaming that you have, that you were already thinking of digital platforms? You are with ABS-CBN, you were with Viva, you are, millions of followers, but you have a crazy mind. You've been thinking of a lot of these things already, even before this
I think
lockdown.
with the way that technology is moving, it just makes sense. Things are going online. But everything, we just have to be careful because it's a tool like anything else. It can be good and bad. So we just have to make sure that the right intentions behind the kind of platforms we're creating. And I think that the Ask the Tax Whiz PH app has the best intentions. It's really trying to help people pay their taxes on time, pay the proper taxes to avoid any problems and things with any taxes at all. So we're really trying to protect people from fines and that kind of thing. So we're getting there slowly. We're not there yet. We're getting there slowly.
Yeah.
But as of now,
They can download it already.
App, yes, it's downloadable now. There's still a lot of really useful features like the calendar and the calculator. But coming soon will be the ability to take photos of your seats and file and pay for your taxes all on one app.
Yeah,
exciting
and
stuff.
people, actually, it's really exciting, and a lot of people, millions of people are still asking, what does James Reid got to do with the tax with PH mobile app? So BIR is with us. BIR has been our partner, and I think it's really because we want to help in nation building, and we don't want to be a burden to each other. And this mobile app will really help all of us. Any message, James, to all our online businesses watching us now, digital platforms, startups? There are a lot of them, your followers, your fans, but they're also trying to start something.
All I can really say is that I really believe in you, Monabrea. I really
Vote
think
for
that,
me.
that you can make a difference. And we're starting with this app. That's all I can say.
Thank you very much, James. James, please say hi to Asik Jean, the pioneer, the leader of this e-commerce in the Philippines.
Hello, it's nice to meet you. or video meet you.
We'll take you up on your offer, although the tax whiz volunteered you, but we hope we will take you up on his offer for you to help us out in the digitalization of SMEs.
Yes, I mean, Mom will always have my support.
Thank you,
And,
thank you.
Thank you, James.
you.
I know you have to do a lot of music. Please don't compose a music for tax. That will be crazy. But thank you. Thank you, James.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I will cut your hair when I see you. Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
James. Asek Jean, kamusta naman?
Oh, sir, excited na kami sa iyong tips.
No, actually, Asek Jean, I just received a copy of the Senate bill. I mean, it's crazy. I think I can already say it. There's already a bill that proposes income tax exemption for all of us for 2020. We have to rally behind it, Asek Jean. So it includes employees, self-employed and professionals, and corporations. My gosh, if this gets approved, it will definitely be a good tax break. We don't literally have to complain anymore. So guys, everyone watching right now, all the fans and followers of James, make use of this time while we are on a lockdown. Don't just rant, you can watch Korean drama, but please be productive. Do something that will really make things better for all of us. And tax is not our enemy. Tax is our contribution to our country. It may sound like a cliche, but believe me when I say we can make tax work for us, and we can actually save money on our taxes if only we understand it. And this afternoon, in this masterclass, that's all that I promise to everyone. I just want everyone to feel excited the way I feel all the time whenever I think of taxes. Crazy, right? That's how James, Salve, and everyone address me. They describe me as a crazy guy, hoping that tax will be simple, flat, and affordable to everyone. But I think it's already happening. So I would like to start with the presentation. Iwas Visit, that's our book. Hope you grab a copy of it. It's available, of course, to our online partners, Lazada, Shopee, and ABS-CBN Books. But look at the screen. It's actually not at Iwas Visit Volume 1, because I've been working on Iwas Visit 2. What to do when tax attacks your online business. So imagine, this is the new normal edition. So guys, we've been working on this. So grab a copy of the first book, the bestseller tax book. This one will be launched after the lockdown. So it will already be available, of course, online. So we don't need to see each other. You just have to order online. Next slide. I'm very excited. I think I saw James through a virtual meeting. This is the second time only. He's been very quiet the whole time. But of course, we talk about taxes, not about his love life or career. Always about taxes, and sometimes it's music. He thinks that I have some music inclination. He thinks. I think it's really crazy though, no? This is our topic, guys. 10 things you need to know about taxes and your online business. So, 10 lang po to. 10 things. You can take a photo, you can ask for a copy of the slide, you can take down notes. But what I am asking from everyone, please do take this seriously, because this is not just something that will cost us amount of money, but this is something that we can avoid if possible, if legal, and at the same time, if we need to pay, that will be our contribution to our country, especially in this time of crisis. The government needs funding. So first, what are the taxes I need to pay? Aside from why do I need to pay taxes, this is the most frequent question being asked. What are the taxes I need to pay? And I keep on saying to everyone that you don't need to don't scare yourself with the taxes that BIR will say, or that the accounting professors or the tax lawyers will say. Why? Those are not necessarily applicable to you. In fact, in the Philippines, there is still no digital tax. So, you've probably Googled it already. In the Philippines, wala po tayong digital tax. In short, kung ano yung buwis na binabayad natin or yung mga nagbabayad na ng online platforms, they are still using or they are still adopting the traditional taxes, income tax, VAT, etc. And why am I saying na wala pang digital tax? Kasi ilang bansa pa lang talaga ang may digital tax. Kasi pag sinabing digital tax, parang stock market na, withheld that source, wala nang fina-file yung mga nagtatransact online. Kasi nga, online na lahat, paperless na. Pero unfortunately, right now, dahil wala pang nile-legislate na digital tax, ang nangyayari, we fall under the old system, which is magpa-file ng return, even if there's an online option, pero may income tax, may VAT, may withholding tax, ang dami. So let's hope and pray with this group, sana mas lumaki to at mas makuha natin yung suporta, lalo na ng ating mga lawmakers, that we will start drafting or really creating that blueprint of digital taxation in the Philippines, because that's the only way to grow this industry. Hindi po mag-grow ang digital economy kung left and right, up and down ang taxes. Either hindi sila magre-register or magre-register sila. So, ano ba itong tax na sinasabi natin? Of course, ang pinaka-common dyan is yung income tax. Narinig ko kanina si Ma'am Janet ng BIR, sabi niya, ang income tax yan kung may income ka. Tama nga naman. So, wag po tayong magalit sa income tax kasi it only applies when you have an income. Pero, may income ka o wala, dapat mag-file ka. So, these are the nuances or mga peculiarities na dapat naintindihan natin. Then, meron tayong business tax. Mamaya i-discuss natin kailan ka kailangan VAT, kailan ka non-VAT, or kung income tax, pwede bang 3%, hindi 35%? Yan ang mga matututunan natin in this masterclass. So, I appeal to everyone, tune in, huwag kayo muna mag-CR or watch this again if you need to leave at a certain point in time. Then withholding taxes. Ito po yung madalas na iniiyak ng mga startups. Mon, wala naman ako empleyado, bakit may withholding tax ako? Mon, nasa bahay lang naman ako, gamit ko lang naman laptop ko, bakit ako sinisingil ng withholding tax? Bakit ang dami kong open cases? Well, to tell you honestly, kasalanan niyo po. Kasi wag daw mag-CR, baka magkasakit sa bato. Wag mag-CR. Ano ba? So, actually, kasalanan niyo. Bakit? Kasi dapat pag nag-register ka kay BIR, chine-checkan mo kung ano lang yung tax na applicable sa'yo. Hindi ko naman alam, kaya nga may masterclass na ganito. Therefore, kung wala kang empleyado, it's a startup online business, huwag kang mag-register sa withholding tax and compensation. Na-register ko na, kasi naman ngayon lang to masterclass na to, si Asik Jin, hindi ka agad to nilaunch pwede mong tanggalin. Mag-1905 ka, i-delete mo, cancel withholding tax on compensation para hindi na siya mag-generate ng open cases para hindi ka nasisingilin ng penalty ni BIR. Nasa bahay lang ako, Mon, wala din naman ako mga consultant. Minsan nga, inutusan ko lang yung anak ko, yung kapatid ko. Pero sinisingil ako ng expanded withholding tax, pwede mo ding tanggalin. Uulitin ko, what are the taxes I need to pay? Depende po sa nature ng operation, sa mga gastusin, sa kinikita, anong industriya. Hindi po porket yung kapitbahay mo o yung kaibigan mo o yung iniidolo mo nagbayad ng VAT, magbabayad ka din ng VAT. Na may withholding tax on compensation, naki-withholding tax on compensation ka. Hindi mo lang man tinanong bakit ba sila may withholding tax on compensation. Pero it's also a reminder na kung may empleyado ka, kahit na puro sila minimum wage, which means exempted sa income tax, required ka pa rin mag-file ng withholding tax on compensation. Zero nga lang. Exempt siya. So, magkaiba yun. Magkaiba yung magpa-file sa magbabayad. Kasi pag exempt siya, required pa rin i-file, pero walang babayaran. Pero kung hindi talaga applicable sa'yo yung tax na yan, alisin mo sa registration mo. So I guess si number 1 is actually going back to registration phase. If it's not applicable to you, paano ko malalaman? Listen to me. If it's not applicable to you, cancel it. Remove it from your registration. Accumulate na yung penalty. Sulatan yung RDO. Huwag po tayo makipag-usap kung kani-kanino nakatambay doon sa labas ng BIR. Write a letter to the RDO, Revenue District Officer. At kung sasabihin mo, ano yung nangyari? Hindi ba nag-operate yung business? Were you not properly informed? O nawala ka naman talagang empleyado? They can check the SSS. Kumbaga, show proof. Documentation. Alam mo, at the end, ako natutunan ko to now that we are working directly and closely with BIR, it's all about substantiation, documentation. As long as you can prove it, hindi magagalit si BIR, hindi kanya itatax. Pero, kung wala naman talagang documentation, hindi anybody can just claim it. So you have to also put yourself in the shoes of BIR examiners or officials. If they will just allow anybody not to pay taxes, lahat hindi na lang magbabayad. Tama po ba? So, what are the taxes I need to pay? Ano po ba yung taxes na applicable sa inyo? And right now, kung hindi ka pa nagre-register, make sure na you read up first, okay? Meaning, you can follow our page. Honestly, it's not hard sell because it's free. Follow Asian Consulting Group na hindi na natutulog yung digital team namin kaka-create ng infographics, article online, etc. All you have to do is to do your homework. Basa po tayo. Okay, number 2. Ano naman ngayon to? How can I file and pay? O alam na natin kung ano yung applicable sa atin or kung ano yung taxes na babayaran natin. Paano naman ako magbabayad o magfa-file? Well, the good news is electronic. Marami ng ways or electronic na hindi na tulad dati na you have to queue. So yung mga nagre-reklamong pipila sila sa BIR, baka po PWD yun or mga zero payment or no tax due. Kasi po everything else pwede ng electronic. Kaya nga po, alam nyo, sa totoo lang, nape-pressure ako kay James kasi gusto niyang matapos na yung filing and paying online using our app. Ngayon, hindi pa siya tapos kasi meron, aside from accreditation ni BIR, we have to talk to Union Bank. Ayan, mga nakalagay pala dito. Kay Marvin, sa Paymaya. I mean, we have to finalize and link it to our app and get accreditation of BIR. Hindi po kasalanan ni BIR to. It's really a long process of development, testing, etc. But what we can assure you, tulad ng sinabi ni James, the reason why he is on board, he believes in our cause. More than a business making profit, ang sinusuportahan ni James is the advocacy, our advocacy to make things really simple, easy, and efficient. Yung hindi ka na ma-stress. So imagine niyo po to. Actually, step up din ng BIR, level up sa mga infographics. O ito po kinuha to sa BIR, baka po sabihin niyo ginawa po namin to. Galing to sa BIR. So they are really making it simple for all of us. So I think it's also important that we acknowledge the efforts of government agencies. Kanina umaga pinanood ko yung forum na yung discussion. Parang EODB task force ang usapan. Talagang kinukwento nila ano yung proseso, paano padadaliin, etc. etc. We encourage everyone to please share the link daw po. Please let us educate everyone, lalo na yung mga takot at galit sa BIR. Huwag na po tayo magalit sa BIR. Okay? Ang kalaban natin yung mga walang alam. Tayo palang walang alam. Hindi alamin na natin para hindi po tayo magkagulo, no? So, filing, meron po tayong EBIR forms or EFPS. Downloadable po yung EBIR forms sa BIR. May steps din sila. You can also check on the BIR, Bureau of Internal Revenue Philippines, yung official Facebook page ni BIR. Napakalinaw po ng mga infographics or mga updates po doon. Or of course, again, you can also follow Asian Consulting Group. Ang difference kasi nung kay BIR sa Asian Consulting Group, yung digital team namin, mas nililaymanay siya. Kasi yung mga gumagawa, hindi naman sila tax experts. So sila mismo, pag nalilito sila, they will have to clarify it. Sa BIR naman, ang challenge nila, galing sa regulation yung ina-upload nila sa Facebook. Kaya minsan medyo technical pa rin yung dating. And how do you pay? Ito, alam mo, sa totoo lang, kung may babayaran tayo, kung may pera naman tayo, lahat ng options nandiyan na. Union Bank, DBP, Land Bank, GCash, credit cards, Paymaya, of course. Lahat andyan na. Diba? Sabi ko nga, baka dumating yung araw, pati sa mga 24/7 na convenience store, pwede na magbayad. But let's not wait na mas dumami pa. Let's maximize whatever is available. Ang point ko lamang po, this lockdown, this ECQ should not be a reason for us not to comply or pay our taxes. The good news is, extended. So we don't need to worry about it right now. What we can do is prepare. Alam niyo po, kanina shinare din nila Daniel Padilla, nila Carla Estrada tong masterclass na to, no? We were talking about already dun sa mga babayaran taxes because the reality is a lot of us are waiting for the lifting of ECQ. But actually, how many of us are preparing? New normal. Baka abnormal kalabasan natin dyan. Dapat mo kinakalendar na natin ano yung mga deadlines. Imagine mo, postpone ang mga bills, whether rent, utilities, ang tawag dito, mga phone bills, lahat siya na-postpone. And taxes. Dapat sinachart na natin, binibilugan na natin sa calendar. And we start looking at our finances. Ano po ba yung cash balance natin? Sir Mon, wala na talagang cash. O tignan natin ng mga government assistances kung meron bang loan, subsidy, etc. Hindi yung we just complain, we just get frustrated. Wala pong magagawa yun. Dapat ang gawin natin, we face our fears, we face our bills, we face the expenses that we need to pay. I-schedule na po natin para yung cash flow natin, ma-manage natin. Kasi I don't believe that tax is a special expense. Tax is just like any other expense. You can manage it, you can schedule it. There's a way to save, there's a way to defer. There are legal ways by which we can reduce our expenses, especially on penalties and compromises. You don't need to pay that if you do it properly. Okay? Next slide. So number 3 na tayo ha. So from dun sa anong mga bayaran na wag mo.
Cool. Not a lot of people know me as a businessman. And as a business owner, we have to deal with a lot of problems, especially taxes. Now, we lose 171 hours each year with the filing process and 43% of our income just trying to meet our tax requirements. I didn't want the fear and hassle of taxes to keep me from doing what I love. So, just like you, I wanted to protect myself and my business. So, I went out and found the right people for the job.
Stress about taxes? Well, James and I developed the TaxWiz mobile app to make it hassle-free for you.
And the app makes everything simple. All you have to do is record, file, and pay.
Need to keep track of your receipts?
Just take the receipt, take a picture, and the app will keep a record for you.
You've got everything here, so you're never lost.
And once you've stored everything in the app,
The app will fill up the BIR forms for you, and you can make the payments using the app.
leaving you more time to grow your business or do what you love.
But this is not just for business owners. It's actually for everyone, and we don't have to be afraid of BIR anymore.
And Mon will answer all your tax questions through the TaxWiz app.
Really? Yes, I will be with you every step of the way, because when it comes to protecting yourself and your business, you will never be alone.
Taxes don't have to be scary, and you'll never have to sit through a BIR line again. You get 171 hours of your life back without the worries.
You can spend more time doing things you really love with your loved ones.
Protect your passions and your dreams with the help of the TaxWiz app.
Sec Jean, alam mo bakit alam mo nung ginawa namin to? I think this was before I went to Japan when we did the Trabaho Negosyo Kabuhayan in Tokyo, no. This is funny kasi after taping this video, which is actually to promote the app, James was part of the development of the script, yung pati yung positioning, lightning we got Overmind, sila ex-Valles, Asik Jean, to help us with the production, etc. Alam mo ba ang ingress nito to all those who are watching? After this, I realized, hindi ako pwede mag-artista. Alam mo po bakit? Asik Jean, 5 a.m. ang ingress. Natapos kami 2 a.m. Diyan pong maikling video na yan. And after that, pinaulit ni James. That's why later, you will watch the shorter version. Kasi gusto ni James mas mabilis. Saka mas maikli. So imagine mo, 5 a.m. to 2 a.m. the following day, only to decide na i-hold dyan, I want a faster video. So that's how hands-on si James. And what's the point? To everyone who's doing online business, everyone who started digital platforms or still wondering what to do with their lives, James is such a crazy soul. He really does what he wants. So really a non-showbiz guy kasi other than having his own music label, his own entertainment platform, he gets into something that not ordinary artista will do. And being part of a tax mobile app, really crazy, right? So now we go to number 3. Eto na tayo. Ano ngayon ang gagawin? Tatakbo ba kayo kay Asik Jean para sa DTI registration or mag-e-enboss kayo para sa corporation? You know, that's a decision that will not be made by the government. That's a decision that you have to make, once you have made your projections. Magkano po ba yung napo-project yung kikitain? Or magkano po ba yung expenditures or working capital na kakailanganin? Bakit po? Yung tax niya nagbabago din. Kapag ka nag-freelance ka, tapos bigla kang kumita ng 10 milyon, 35% ang tax mo. Sa corporation, maximum 30%. Tapos sabi ni Secretary Carl Chua, kampi na sila sa akin, ibababa na daw ng 25% Asik Jean. Yan ang mga good news, di ba? So we are now discussing and the DOF is already discussing the possibility to impose right away the reduction of corporate income tax from 30 to 25%. Pag nangyari yun, imagine mo this discrepancy. 35% po kapag freelancer or individual taxpayer versus 25%. 10% difference po ng tax yun. So, freelancer lang kasi ako mo hindi yun ang point. Ang point is, magkano yung projected sales mo. Kasi kung itong sale na to, sale na isang beses lang na hindi mo kailangan mag-register at mag-issue na resibo, sige, hindi mo kailangan desisyonan. But if this will become your livelihood, your profession, registering your business is very important. But don't just jump into it, run to DTI or run to SEC. Lalo na ngayon, pwede naman palang online, you don't need to run. But you have to make this decision. Will you be doing it as a freelancer or a sole proprietor? Or will you be doing it as a corporation? Whether traditional business or online, it's a decision that you have to make based on your projections. I cannot decide for you. I can only tell you the taxes imposed or the tax implication. Next slide. Ito, I think, wala, accountant po talaga ako eh. I only appreciate things when there are numbers eh. So, 8% versus 35%. Ano po ibig sabihin yan? Well, that's thoroughly discussed in our Iwas Buisit book, no? And you can actually chat us, no? You can download the app and ask questions. Only chat po yan, walang bayad. Pero ano ibig sabihin ng 8% at 35%? Well, not a lot of us are talking about the benefits of train law. Siyempre, lahat nagalit, tumaas ang presyo, di ba? Kung ang DTI nga, nataranta kaka-price freeze at kakabantay dahil dun sa pagtaas ng inflation nung in-implement yung train law, which is a lot of factors also. Pero, optional 8% para sa ating mga startups. Or in short, to those who will not exceed 3 million sales, annual sales. Optional 8%. Quarterly lang siya babayaran. Yung first 250,000 exempted pa rin. At wala nang monthly returns, wala nang VAT or non-VAT, 8% na lang every quarter. So, if subject sa withholding tax yung service mo or 2% or 1%, konti na lang yung idadagdag mo. At wala ka na ring audit kasi hindi ka na magkiklaim ng expenses. 8% lang talaga babayaran mo tapos. Ganun kasimple. In fact, that's one of the proposal that I have made na in this pandemic, part of the tax relief that I am thinking, which I propose to the government, to Senate and Congress, baka pwede na nating implement yung flat tax for small businesses. Ano po ibig sabihin ng flat tax? Whether 5% or 8%, pero wala na. Wala nang VAT, wala nang withholding tax, wala nang kahit ano, 5% na lang. O gusto nyo 8% pero malinis yun na lang. Because at the end of the day, 67% of our collections are from the large taxpayers. Pero 99.57% of us, MSMEs. So sa dami natin, kung ang dami din natin ang babayaran, baka nga magkakagulo tayo. Kahit pa may up ka, kung dami mong pipicturean, ang dami mong babayaran, ma-stress ka pa rin kasi gastos pa rin siya, di ba? Pero kung flat lang, flat tax 5% or flat tax 8%, and that's all that you need to do. Okay, di ba? So anyway, it's not a dream. It's something that may happen, hopefully soon, no? But the point of this slide is, for number 4, is you have to decide if you are registered as an individual or sole proprietor. Kasi diba kanina pinapili kita, freelance ka ba o corporation? So number 4, pinili mo freelancer or sole proprietorship. May pangalawa kang didesisyonan. Optional 8% ba or graduated income tax, ang maximum rate 35%. Not many of us will talk about this kasi ayaw nyo pang pag-usapan ng tax eh. Kasi wala pa nang kita mo eh. You know, even with the celebrities, I don't talk to them unless they tell me how much is the worth of the contract, how much is your annual income last year, etc. Because that's the only way I will have value to you when you talk to me. I can tell you the tax implications. Pero kung puro qualitative data, walang numbers, anong tax dun? Paano itatax ni BIR ang pangarap mo? Paano itatax ni BIR ang mga fears mo? Pero pwedeng itax ni BIR ang kita, ang donation, ang i-claim ang losses, numbers. So, pag napili mo yung freelance sole proprietor, punta ako kay DTI eh. Ito ngayon ang second decision mo. Number 4 tayo. 8% optional, which is quarterly lang. Wala nang VAT, non-VAT, income tax na lang na. 8% quarterly. Or graduated na 35%, pwedeng may VAT or non-VAT, pero may monthly returns din. At maximum type 35%. Paano yung distinction? Depende sa sales mo. Kung projected sales mo hindi lalagpas ng 3 million, pwede sa yung 8%. Pero kung lalagpas ka ng 3 million, disqualified ka sa 8%. Kaya nga ang proposal ko, sana sa lahat ng small businesses, may flat tax na lang. Hindi lang VAT ang mawawala. Lahat wala na, isa na lang ang babayaran. But right now, that's our option. So for freelancers out there, those who are watching right now, even if you are registered sa DTI at sa BIR as a sole proprietor, your startup, your mom and pop, your digital, whatever platform, etc., hindi po si BIR ang magde-decide yan. You choose it every start of the year when you file your first quarter tax return. Kung mag-optional 8% po kayo or graduated, income tax maximum of 35%. But take note, however, kapag po tayo ay nag-elect na ng 8%, hindi na po siya pwedeng baguhin throughout the year. So until the annual, 8% na po yung gagamitin natin. Pero the following year, pwede ka ulit mag-shift or mag-change kasi nga annual decision siya. Okay? For freelancers or sole proprietors. So those who got a copy of our book, you can check that chapter, no? There's an explanation, a computation para mag-guide ka. Those of you who will have more questions, aside from this online masterclass, you can download the app, you can chat. I'm the one personally replying. So para ma-appreciate nyo, starting today, ito yung magre-reply ako, lalagay ko ng smiley face para malaman yung ako mismo yung nagre-reply. Number 5, number 5, the next thing that we need to know. So 10 things lang to, nasa number 5 na tayo. Ano nga yung una? What are the taxes that you need to pay? Hindi pwedeng lahat, wag mo angkinin. Hindi lahat babayaran, yung applicable lang. Pangalawa po, paano babayaran? Ano yung online option? Paano i-file? Paano makakarating sa BIR? So there are apps, there are electronic channels. So EBIR, EFPS, and payment. You can also use paying credit card, GCash, Paymaya, etc. Okay? Then pangatlo po, freelance or corporation? Sole proprietor or corporation? Kay DTI ba ako mag-register o kay SEC? Actually, ngayon nadagdagan pa pala. Kasi pag corporation, may isang option na one-person corporation. At nandun yung NBOSS. You know, nung nilaunch namin yung NBOSS, si Miss Bea Binene ang kasama namin. Grabe. Sobrang ang bilis. Maraming salamat sa ARTA at sa DTI, no. Na-register namin yung NBOSS kasama si DG. Happy birthday, DG. Ay, hindi natin binati si James. Birthday pala ni James ng Monday. Nakalimutan ko na kasi ang dami natin pag-uusapan today. So, imaginein mo in less than a half day, nakapag-register kami ng one-person corporation and Bea will now be using it for her mix and brew business. Nasa Mega Mall po yun. So, ang mga artista, hindi lang namin tinuturuan umiwas sa buwis, no? We are encouraging them to do businesses, entrepreneurship. Kaya partner talaga natin si DTI. Huwag tayong matakot sa buwis. You know, taxes are but another expense that we can manage. Oh, number 5. So, ulit anong taxes dapat bayaran? Dapat alamin mo bago mag-register. Pangalawa, paano magpa-file? Ano yung option ng filing and paying online? Siyempre, yung app natin, pwede din gamitin dyan. Taxes PH, pwede i-download. Number 3, freelancer ba o korporasyon? Another decision that you have to make. Hindi po DTI o gobyerno ang gagawa para sa atin yan. Number 4, ano po yung pang-apat? Kung 8% or 35%. Pag pinili mo yung sole proprietorship, hindi si BIR ang pipili kung mag-optional 8% ka. Kaya nga po siya optional. Pag hindi mo inelect yung 8%, automatic nandun ka sa graduated na 35% plus business tax. Kaya pag below 3 million ang annual sales, I encourage you to consider optional 8% para wala ng business tax. Quarterly na lang ang babayaran mo. Take note, under train law, the first 250,000 po exempted sa tax. Then number 5, 3% or 12%. O ito, whether individual ka o korporasyon ka, itong pinag-uusapan natin, ako, buko na, gulo na. Business tax. Anong business tax ang babayaran mo? Pag sinabing non-VAT, 3% yun. Pag sinabing VAT, 12% yun. Ano ang difference? Kapag service ka, parang artista, mahirap yung VAT. Alam nyo bakit? Kasi ang VAT, kapag may invoice ka, na VAT invoice ka o may mga inventaryo ka na may VAT, lumiliit yung babayaran mo. Dahil yung charge mo na 12%, marireduce siya ng mga gastos mo na may 12% input tax. Pero pag service ka na wala kang gastos na may VAT invoice o resibo na VAT, mas malaki pa sa 3% ang babayaran mo. Ulit whether you're individual or a corporation, you need to decide on your business tax. Hindi po si BIR ang magde-decide niyan. In fact, what I realized, we hated BIR so much because we hate the fact that we don't understand. We hated BIR examiners so much because we are afraid of the fact that we don't know what to pay or that we didn't pay, and there's a penalty. And they are scary because they're the one collecting the penalties. When in reality, had done our assignment, have we been prepared, hindi tayo ma-penalize. So, business tax, kung below 3 million ang annual gross sales mo, 3% ang business tax mo or non-VAT ka. Kapag lumagpas sa 3 million ang annual gross sales mo or your projected annual gross sales the following year, lagpas sa 3 million, 12% or VAT ka. Can you shift from VAT to non-VAT? Yes, but it's not easy to shift from VAT to non-VAT. Kung non-VAT to VAT, from 3% to 12, madali. In fact, automatic yan kay BI. Kapag hindi ka lumalagpas sa 3 million, non-VAT ka, 3% lang babayaran mo monthly. Bigla kang lumagpas sa 3 million, automatic, i-consider ka ni BIR na vatable na, kaya dapat i-update mo na yung registration mo. Pero pag VAT ka, 12% yung binabayaran mo, tapos tulad dito, may pandemic, bumaba yung sales mo, then you realize it's hard for you to exceed 3 million anymore kasi parang local na lang at maliit na lang yung operation mo. You have to change or update your registration from VAT to non-VAT, which is 3%. Now, kapag ka retailer ka na may inventory at may resibo ang supplier mo na VAT receipt or invoice, actually, mas maganda ang VAT or 12% VAT. Kasi si 3% flat eh. Fixed na 3%. Si 12% pwede maging zero, kaya nga yung iba't iba may VAT refund. Eh sa 3%, walang refund dyan. Saradong 3% ng gross sales mo ang babayaran mo. Okay? So, that's the business tax that we need to decide. Ngayon, kapag ang produkto mo ay luxury items, sigarilyo, alak, maliban dyan, may excise tax ka pa. Kasama ang langis o petrolyo. Pero para po sa atin ng mga hindi naman po addict, no? Wala sa sigarilyo, sa alak o sa langis, ang nilalaklak natin ay ang binebenta o negosyo natin, 3% or 12% or non-VAT or VAT lang ang didesisyonan po natin. Again, it's a decision that you have to make, not necessarily every year, but the moment you exceed the threshold. How much is our threshold? 3 million. Kung kayo po ay follower ng DTI, umaattend ng mga mentoring or sa negosyo center nagpunta o naka-attend na kayo ng isa sa mga seminars namin, marirealize niyo po na isa kami sa nagpo-promote ng BMBE, Barangay Micro Business Enterprise. Applicable ba to sa online? Of course, wala namang sinabing hindi pwedeng online yung business, di ba? Pero yung 3 million na sinabi ko na VAT threshold, na pag lumagpas ka sa 3 million sales, vatable na o 12% VAT. Sa BMBE, iba ang ibig sabihin ng 3 million threshold. Kapag hindi ka ang kapital mo hindi lumagpas sa 3 million, you may apply for BMBE sa DTI Negosyo Center and avail of the income tax exemption. Gusto ko lamang pong mabanggit, baka po makalimutan natin na may batas na nagbibigay ng income tax exemption for micro businesses or those whose capital will not exceed 3 million. And it's renewable every 2 years. Okay? Number 6. Oh, parang game show pala ito eh. Oops. Number 6. Ayan na. Hi Nadine. Sabi ko kay Nadine, i-share din yung link eh. Tingnan natin kung na-share na niya. James, pakisabi nga kay Nadine. Ay, joke lang. Can I issue e-invoice or e-receipts? Alam niyo po kung nakinig kayo kanina kay Ma'am Janet ng BIR, diniscuss din niya yan. Yes, if you apply for it. Pero ngayon, under RMC 47-2020, kahit po iscan nyo yan, email nyo yan, basta po inform nyo lang si BIR, sabihin nyo lang, sa akin pong sitwasyon ngayon, no, talaga pong mahirap, di po ako makalabas, etc. etc. Kaya ini-scan ko na lamang po yung mga resibo, okay na po. Basta po ang nakalagay po dun sa RMC 47-2020, we have to inform BIR of the options that we are, or alternatives that we are doing because of the ECQ, MECQ, or GCQ, or kung ano man tawag natin dyan, Season 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Ang point is, naging flexible si BIR. Pero may requirements. We just have to follow. Okay? So, hopefully, time will come na even sa mobile app, pwede na natin mag-receive at mag-issue ng resibo. Because at the end of the day, that's how we empower or how we grow this digital economy. Kaya diba, parang it's quite ironic that we talk about digital economy but there's so much paperwork to be done. It's quite ironic that we talk about digital economy but the manual process is like pandemic din, that it's there. And that's the best thing about not just the DTI e-commerce but of course the ease of doing business task force, through the help of DTI and ARTA, we're really working together, both the government and the private sector. Tulong-tulong po tayo, i-automate lahat yan. Because in reality, it's easier to collect and pay taxes if everything is automated or online, especially using our mobile phone. So, can I issue e-invoice, e-receipt, kahit pa email mo? Yes. Okay? Number 7. Matapos kaya tayo today? Number 7, collect or select. Ito si James, collect or select. Di ba collect and select yun? Collect or select, ano ibig sabihin yan? Another decision that you have to make. Asik, Jean, ito palang masterclass ko about decision making. Hindi pala tax. Okay? Bakit collect or select? Because you have to decide whether you will accumulate receipts or what we call itemized deductions to reduce your taxable income, or you will just opt or select the optional standard deduction. Ano ang difference? Kami po, para po sa mga malalaking artista na tinutulungan namin, they cannot use itemized deduction. It's discouraged, highly discouraged. Let's say, for instance, a celebrity, I won't say it's James, but more or less, basta mga big, no, big stars. If they make 100 to half a billion annual revenues, anong gagawin namin? Mangongolekta kami resibo sa buong Pilipinas. You cannot accumulate such expense. It's not possible. And BIR will run after you. Whose expenses are these? Honestly, you cannot spend half a billion in a year, di ba? So we recommend them to use the optional standard deduction, which is 40% of their gross is a standard deduction. No more receipt, no more audit. Basta 100% sales or revenue, 40% standard deduction, untaxable 60%. That is the optional standard deduction. If you select OSD, 40% ang magiging standard deduction or expense mo. Pero kung ikaw ay maliit na negosyo, retailer, na maraming resibo at may mga resibo talaga ang supplier mo, collect po tayo na resibo. Meaning, we ask for official receipts. Ako po, bingi na ako sa lahat na nagre-reklamo at hindi ko na po alam kung paano isisiksik sa mga utak natin na hindi po kasalanan ni BIR kung walang resibo yung supplier natin. We have to make sure that we support registered entities as well. Sa akin po, okay lang kung one time gusto mong tulungan, like for this pandemic, meron tayong mga kaibigan na hindi registered pero may skill, may potential, tulungan natin kasi ako pro-productivity ako eh. I'm not so much about legalities, formalities. Eh. Sa akin, as long as you have the potential, you can deliver results, it doesn't matter, sige, wala kang resibo. One time. Pero pag nakita mo potential niya that he can generate revenues, encourage mo na siyang mag-register so that he can issue receipts. And that is the problem. Minsan, nahihiya tayong sabihin or nakasanayan na natin, kasi pag humingi ako resibo, plus 12% daw, kaya hindi na lang ako humingi resibo. That doesn't make it right. Both of you are wrong. If you want the itemized deductions, and I am saying this to everyone watching and those who will be sharing this and viewing this later on, if you choose the itemized deduction, you have to collect secure official receipts for every expense that you make. No excuses. Like for instance, although I'll be mentioning this later on, lahat ng mga nag-donate, that's a deductible expense. In fact, under the train law, the first 250,000, which we may have donated during this ECQ, 250,000 worth of our inventories, worth of our goods, services, spaces na pinagamit natin, etc., that is tax exempt. Walang 6% donor's tax. But in excess of 250,000, we need to substantiate it. We need to execute deed of donation if it's donated to the government. Or we need to ask for a certificate of donation if it is donated to a foundation. Or what can we do if it is just given to a person on the side of the street? At least we ask for acknowledgement receipt. We need to document it. Otherwise, ikaw si BIR Commissioner. Sabi ni Abrea, Commissioner, nag-donate ako ng 1 million sabay kindat. Is that okay? Eh, hindi lahat magkiklaim na lang ng donation as deductible expense. That is the reason why we need to substantiate it. And that is according to Revenue Regulation 9-2020. Just document it, sabi ni BIR, sabi ni DOF, sige, tax exempt na lahat ng dinonate nyo during this pandemic or ECQ, but please substantiate it. And aside from exemption, pwede mo ding gamiting deductible expense. Eh, paano naman yung paninda ko, sermon, nasira, yung mga ingredients ko na bulok, o yung ibang gamit nasira, yung ibang kontrata na cancel, ang dami kong losses. I understand, probably all of us. We started accumulating debts and losses by this time. You can claim it as well. You have 45 days to inform BIR that you have incurred those losses. Why do I have to inform BIR? How can you claim? You need to let them know. You need to estimate the amount of loss. You need to substantiate. Picturean mo, mag-selfie ka kasama yung bulok na isda. O, ilista ng pang resibo na nasirang raw materials. I mean, it may sound weird or odd, but you have to put yourself in the position of BIR. How can they justify or approve your request if you cannot substantiate it? So, collect or select, whether you are an individual, OPC, one-person corporation, or corporation, you need to decide whether your expenses or deductible expenses to reduce your taxable income, itemize ba, collect resibo, or we just select 40% optional standard deduction. Okay? Number 8. Parang roleta to Tax credit, tax refund, carry over. Ayun, mga sarap pakinggan no? Parang puro good news. Alam niyo po, pag sinabing tax credit, ito ay excess payment from previous month or previous quarter. As long as the return is clear that there was an excess payment, you don't need to avail of BIR's consent or inform them. Just copy the tax credit excess payment doon sa tax credit, doon sa current return na ifa-file mo. Refund. Most of the employees will be getting tax refunds either start of the year or in adjust at the end of the year. But the VAT refund is another thing. You have to apply for VAT refund. And we're hoping na mas mapapabilis ang VAT refund during this pandemic kasi nga mas kailangan natin yung cash. Carry over. Actually, si carry over loss. Kapag may mga losses ka, pwede mo siyang i-claim up to 3 years. Kaya tawag carry over. Okay? Ang suggestion ni BIR, ni DOF pala, is to extend the carryover from 3 years to 5 years para yung mag-accumulate na maraming losses, they can still use the losses to reduce their taxes until 5 years. So those are the 3 things that you need to know if it happens to you or if it's applicable to you. Do you have tax credit? Refund, carry over. Another tax credit is yung mga withholding tax credit. Ibig sabihin, winidholdan ka ng supplier, ng kliyente mo ng 10%, ng 5%. Nagpapaupa ka, winidholdan ka ng 5%. You can use the tax credit through the 2307, yung form na dapat binibigay nila sa inyo quarterly para ibabangga mo yun sa income tax na babayaran mo. So assuming, example, kailangan ko magbayad ng 10,000 income tax pero winidholdan ako ng clients ko ng 5,000 pesos. So yung 10,000 pesos na babayaran ko, may tax credit ako na 5,000, may 2307 siya, 5,000 pesos na yung babayaran ko. So na-reduce siya. Okay? So that's for the tax credit, tax refund, carry over. Diba? Pero alam niyo po, ang ating mga sama ng loob, mga heartbreaks, wag na po natin i-carry over yan. Move on na po tayo. Next, number 9. Kasi po, mauubos na po yung oras at baka putulan tayong kuryente. Number 9, ito po napaka-importante. BIR updates or issuances. I really encourage all of you to follow Bureau of Internal Revenue Philippines. And of course, Asian Consulting Group. Bakit? Marami pong ini-issuing BIR regulations, memo, reminders, circulars na dapat updated tayo. Kung gusto niyo pong less technical, sa ACG kayo pumunta kasi yun po ang trabaho ng mga digital team namin to create infographics, to laymanize it, to simplify it. RR 11-2020, if you go now to Asian Consulting Group, ang nakapin po doon, ako po yung nagpin ganyan tayo kasipag, tayo lang din tutulungan. Ang nakapin po doon, BIR deadlines. Share it so all of your colleagues, suppliers, friends, you don't get taranta. Huwag kayong mataranta sa BIR deadline. So makikita nyo sa Asian Consulting Group page, BIR deadlines, revise ito na extension, RR 11-2020. Then get your calendar, pagbibilugan na po natin yung deadline. After natin mabilugan lahat ng deadline, isama na natin yung bills natin, Meralco, PLDT, Globe Smart, lahat ng babayaran, pati renta, kunin na natin yung mga amounts para ma-budget na natin, ma-prepare na natin ang cash flow natin. Do not wait for the lifting of the lockdown. We have so much things to do. Actually, baka kulang itong natitirang araw bago malit yung ECQ to prepare, to plan our lives. So make sure after this webinar, you do it already. Don't waste any more time because all these issuances are very important. Audit suspension, yung mga takot na takot sa BIR audit, suspended siya. But take note, hanggat may quarantine, kay general, kay modified, kay enhanced, or kung anumang season 5 yan, hanggat may quarantine, suspended ang audit. Once na na-lift siya, count 60 days, that's the only time a BIR examiner can start contacting you. Pero hindi po ibig sabihin tutulugan nyo. Prepare now. So if you need help, let us know. If you have question, download the app. Alam nyo po, libre naman to. Pag hindi nyo pa in-avail, baka problema nyo na talaga sarili nyo. Ay, de joke lang po. Kayo talagang problema. You need to do something. You need to help yourself before others can help you. So don't just wait for the government to help us. We need to help ourselves and we need to find a way to help the government. And through the taxes that we will be paying. Number 10! Woo! I may take note po pala, yung RMC 34-2020, ito na nga yung 60 days. Next! Sabi ko na yan. Ito na, number 10, sa dami ng deadline, baka makakalimutan nyo, anniversary nyo, ay, naghiwalay na pala sila, I'm so sorry. Pag dinownload nyo po yung TaxWiz PH, may tax calendar siya, may tax alert siya, so lahat po ng mga deadlines na yan, i-remind kayo. So para kang ginigising ng alas 5, ito, you can be alarmed or reminded 5 days before the deadline, etc. And once na fully developed na po yung app, you can start filing and paying just using your mobile app para mas marami kang time mag-date o humanap ng ka-date. Okay? So, parang medyo smiling face na sila together, no? Sige, sa next webinar, babalitaan ko kayo kasi wala na tayong oras. Next slide! Parang game show to, parang noontime show to. Ano na ba, kasabay ko na ba si Willie Revillame? Baka ito tumalo sa show niya. So anyway, follow our page so that you will be updated. We will try to have webinars. Napapagalitan na ako ng nanay ko kasi lagi ako naka-online. Wala nga akong pasok pero kasi po, kung nasaan ako ngayon, wala po ako sa office, virtual background dyan. Ang katotohanan, nasa kusina po ako. So hindi siya makapagluto, hindi siya makapag-prepare ng kahit ano. So can we extend? Ito na po, Asik Jean, hindi po ako malis, andito lang po ako. Pero pag nagalit po ang nanay ko at wala kaming kinain, ikaw ang ituturo ko, ha? So, ang point lang po natin is, we need to be informed, we need to collaborate, we need to get help, but we also try to help those we can help. So, wag po tayong malungkot lang, wag tayong malumbay, sayang yung enerhiya natin, sayang yung resources, sayang ang social media kung tayo ay magagalit lamang. Dapat po ang social media, we promote the mga information, mga assistance, mga programs na ganito, and how to get rid of BIR audit. Give us time, probably next week we'll post the schedule. Definitely, it will be free. We just need you to help us spread the word, not the fake news, but the information, okay? So, next slide. Ito,
Okay, I think Mr. Mon Abria is on his final slides, but I think a lot of people are still, wanting to listen to him finally on the last slides. And most especially that we have a lot of questions nasa FB at nasa Zoom rin po. So we'll just wait for him to come back. But anyway, while waiting, pakibantay na lang Sam pag nakabalik na siya, no? If I remember it right, we also guested Mr. Mon Abria during our Bouncing Back webinar in PTTC. And meron po siyang mga nabanggit na tax relief. Ito yung sabi niyang ilalakad nga niya sa Congress, okay, and sa right agencies. So tax relief which can address the cash flow and liquidity issues of a lot of small businesses while helping the government collect taxes from large taxpayers. Wala pa siya, Sam? Among these are, yun sa mga nabanggit niya, general tax amnesty, lowering of corporate income tax from 30 to 20%, tax credit rebate for employers, tax holidays for MSMEs, and no audit program for large taxpayers. Ang binabanggit niya po last time, ito yung mga gusto niya ngang i-propose na tax relief na pwedeng mai-apply sa mga empleyado, sa mga MSMEs, sa mga large MSMEs, and even large enterprises rather, and MSMEs. So the last time that we guested him here in PTTC, ang sinasabi niya, yun po yung mga ilalakad niya nga. And we hope, at the beginning of his presentation kanina, he was also mentioning that meron siyang good news. I don't know if ang good news niya is kabilang po dito sa mga nabanggit natin kanina. So we hope the connectivity issue of Mr. Mon Abria will be addressed. Is he back? Hello daw. Hello daw po sa ating mga FB Live viewers. Hindi ko alam kung nagpataas ng ating live, ng ating bilang. Ilan siya? 471, and we have 367 in Zoom right now. And kanina rin, we got from, okay, saan ba siya? Ang dami nating nationwide actually yung mga viewers natin. And we're very happy that you're joining us. Okay? We're just waiting for... Okay, bumalik na ba siya?
Yes, I'm back.
Okay.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, pinasok ko lang
Hello.
po, Sir Mon, yung mga sinabi nyo dito last time, yung mga tax relief that you were mentioning. And I don't know if
Yes.
it's part of the good news that you're reporting.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Oo,
Take it away
okay.
po.
Asik Jean, sorry pagka na-cut ako, tapos pag pindot ko ng link, napunta na ako sa Go Negosyo. So may isa pa akong live, so they're waiting for me now. I'm so sorry, guys. So anyway, with common violations and penalties, no, importante na we take note of this, not to memorize or become an expert, but to avoid these unnecessary penalties. Failure to register, even the annual renewal, just simply displaying it. Paano in online business ako, paano ko i-display yung registration documents ko? Kung ano po yung ni-register yung business, whether kwarto mo, bahay mo, dapat may portion doon na hindi nakatago sa cabinet, no, na naka-display yung registration documents to really legitimize the existence of an ongoing business in that room, in that house, in that area. Okay, next slide po. Yan, then it's also important to make sure na hindi po tayo gumagamit ng resibong galing recto or nagprint na sarili nating resibo. I think BIR has been repeating this, that we need to have an authorized authority to print receipt, meaning yung BIR inapprove kung sino yung magpiprint ng resibo natin. As I have said, RMC 47-2020 during this pandemic or ECQ, kung nag-expire na yung resibo, naubusan ka na ng resibo or hindi mo mapadala yung resibo, may mga alternatives, pwedeng i-email mo lang, pwedeng tatlagyan mo lang extension, etc. Ina-allow na ni BIR. We just have to inform the RDO or the concerned office. So please check RMC 47-2020. You can also visit our official Facebook page, Asian Consulting Group, or download our app. We can chat so that you will be clarified. Next slide po. Ayan, so save money on your taxes as the tax risk. You know, we take pride and glory that we are helping the government collect the right taxes. But at the same time, that we educate the public, whether celebrity ka, startup ka, empleyado ka, so that you will no longer be afraid of taxes. And I am just very privileged that I work with the government and I work with BIR now. Unlike before, no, tinawag na yata akong public enemy number 1 ng BIR, kaka-criticize sa mga corrupt practices. But at the end of the day, corrupt practices are actually involving both parties, the examiner and the taxpayers. And the only way to get rid of corruption, BIR audit, is education. If we will be able to pay the right taxes using technology, using collaboration and partnership so that it will be less costly, we can save a lot of taxes and avoid unnecessary penalties and compromises. If you will run through 1 to 10, kahit sino pong tax lawyer or tax expert, you will realize that you will be saving a lot every time that you make the right choice from number 1 to number 10. If you miss one option or if you miss to make that right decision, you will be paying the cost. So here, education or knowledge is not just power, but making the right choice will save us a lot of money. So choose to do the right thing, choose to download the app, choose to ask the right questions. Kasi pag hindi po natin siya nagawa ng tama, instead na ma-avail natin yung option na mas mababa yung buwis, you know, I won't identify, but a lot of these celebrities, they directly contact me, call, text. Kanina ka-text ko si Miss Carla Estrada, si DJ Chacha yan, lagi kong ka-chat yan. Of course, si Salve, a good friend, lagi kami nag-uusap on how do we educate the public? Ano ba yung option para mas mapababa yung buwis? Ang couple na si Kian at si China, nakakatawa kasi yung mga may anak dyan, ako din ang ninong. But at the end of the day, this is not a cult. This is not an empire that we build. We want to really unite and promote responsible citizenship na we pay our taxes not because we're afraid of BIR, but because that's the right thing to do. And we don't need to be afraid because if you ask the right questions, if you ask the tax risk, if you do the right thing, you will save a lot of money. So wag po tayo matakot sa buwis. 1 to 10, take note of them. If may questions kayo, chat with me. I will tell you why taxes should not be the problem. Okay? So please just be with us. Okay? Ayan, ito po yung mga social media pages namin. Just follow it. It's free. Keep educating yourself. Keep updating yourself. And I will tell you one day, you will be like me, so talkative and so excited whenever you talk about taxes. So this is not drugs. This is the reality because I appreciate our tax system. Of course, I know the flaws. That's why sabi nga ni Ma'am Nelly, may mga pinopropose tayo, no? And I am already making that announcement because I received a copy of the bill, Senate Bill number 1474, proposing for 1 year income tax exemption for everyone, employees, self-employed, and corporation. That's a very, very good news kasi diba, ang proposal natin, Ma'am Nelly, tax holiday lang for small businesses. Aba, ito pati empleyado. Pam! Pero actually, ang mas gusto kong proposal doon is yung tax rebate para sa employees. Meaning, hindi mo lang sila i-exempt, pero i-refund mo, ibigay mo sa kanila, yung na-withhold sa kanila for a time, let's say, during the quarantine, yung mga sumweldo, or from January to March, etc. Para more. This is to increase purchasing power. This is to give the money to the people. That's the only way to restart our economy. Ibigay ang pera sa tao, sa mga negosyante lalo na, para magamit, para makapag-bounce back, para ma-jumpstart yung ekonomiya. And I'm very thankful to Secretary, anong pangalan mabanggit ko? Secretary Carl Chua for really listening to our proposal, and to DOF Secretary, to the Senate, Congress. Araw-araw ko po silang tinatag sa Instagram. If you follow me in Instagram as the Tax Wiz, sa IG story ko po, mega tag po yung mga yan. Kasi every week na interview ako sa TV, sa radyo, we publish articles in Inquirer, Rappler, and Business World, and we have our acg.ph website for blogs. Lahat po yan, lahat na nire-release namin content to promote tax education, to promote tax reform, tinatag ko po lahat ng senador at congressman. Hindi ko po sila tatantanan. Hindi ako si Mike Enriquez, pero hindi ko sila tatantanan until we get everything that we need so that we can all bounce back, jumpstart, and sabi ni BSP Governor, it's not just a new normal, it's the new economy. And this new economy should be faster, safer, and driven by technology. Technology-driven. Kaya si Asik Jin, ayan, boto natin, e-commerce, because that is the only way to go. Gawin mo ng consultant si James Lin Asik Jin. Kasi katulad mo yon, crazy din ang mga ideas. Ako, medyo non-millennial pagdating sa digital. Ito nga, best effort na ako. Imagine mo, pati emergency light namin, saka ilaw sa poste ng kalsada, kinuha ko para ilawan ako dito sa webinar na to, so that we will be able to do this discussion. So thank you very much for everyone who tuned in. Please do share this and like our page, download our app. I assure you, ito po pala yung open letter. So if you see this in our page or in my post, please share it, tag your congressman, tag your senators. Lahat po ng proposal natin nandyan. Everything is for us. Everything is to help businesses. Tax breaks for small businesses. So this was published and this was sent to all senators, congressmen, DOF, DTI, NEDA. So lahat po sila nakatanggap. So masaya po tayo na unti-unti gumagalaw na. And we got a word from some senators. I won't drop their names kasi baka ma-compromise sila or ma-pressure. But hopefully, they will also sponsor a bill to start giving us tax relief to really bounce back. Next slide po. Next slide. So we are about to end.
These days, everything can be done by phone. Ordering food, booking a hotel, buying gifts, getting a ride. It's all just a few taps away. But what if we could make taxes just as easy? The TaxWiz PH mobile app allows me to sit back and relax even if there's an upcoming deadline. Why? Well, because I've already did my taxes in advance, thanks to the tax calendar. And if I forget to check, the tax alert feature will notify me of upcoming deadlines, keeping me on track. With the app, you can also calculate how much you need to pay. That's one less thing to think about come tax season. But what if you don't know how to do your tax compliance, or you have any other questions? Well, you can just ask the tax whiz. Mon himself will be available for consultation through the app. Make taxes easy with the TaxWiz PH mobile app.
Ayan, unfortunately, I don't think we can do Q&A, no? Kasi I have live mentoring with Go Negosyo at 3
Okay.
p.m. Sorry, Asik Jean. Pero gusto ko po talaga maging artista nung bata. Kaya ang mga artista na to, tinulungan ko na lang sa tax. Kasi nga, malinaw naman po, no? Hindi tayo makakapag-artista. But when it comes to taxes, all of us can learn it. And hopefully, all of us will be able to choose the right thing, to do the right thing, and pay the right taxes. So please do like our page and download the app. I will surely answer all your questions. Wala po tayong palalagpasin na tanong. Lahat po sasagutin natin. And probably, Asik Jean, we can have another session or Ma'am Nelly. I'm very much open anyway. Wala na akong pupuntahan dito ako sa bahay. So, that's it, guys. So thank you very much for all those who watched and who shared this.
Okay, so I understand we don't have time anymore because you have another session.
Yes
We
po.
actually have a lot of questions. I don't know what we can do with that. Pwede bang i-forward namin siya sa
Yeah,
inyo?
siguro we can answer it, yes.
Yeah, or maybe if you have a buddy right now, if he can start already answering some of the questions that we have on FB and Zoom.
Sige
Is
po,
that
we'll ask
possible?
them to, I think Rosel is here so she can answer some of them and I'll try to answer after. Or whatever, if it's in Facebook, we'll try to answer all of them.
Yeah, okay. So maybe we just have to share it. So lahat po ng mga nag-aabang, ang dami pong tanong talaga, Sir Mon, ano, very inspiring. Kasi
Thank
while
you
we're
po.
talking about taxes, ito parang ang ganda ang ganda ng mga recommendations nyo, ang ganda ng mga tax relief na proposals ninyo, and you have explained it well, ano, sa mga kababayan natin MSMEs. Okay, so we won't hold you for long because I understand meron pa kayo, sabi nga most sought after kayo.
May mga utang po kayo inaabol. Pero
Okay.
maraming salamat po, Ma'am Nelly. Nagkita ulit tayo, no? Pero hindi pa tayo
Yes.
nagkita sa personal.
Oh,
But thank you very much, DTI
Yes po.
E-Commerce, Asek Jean. Panonorin ko mamaya yung kay DG, no? Intellectual property. I think that's also something that we will be doing for a lot of our celebrities. Ito yung trademark nila, yung mga logos and designs nila. And sa digital, no? A lot of ang tawag doon, yung mga codes and everything. Intellectual property, very interesting topic. Another birthday boy, si Director General Ruel Barba. Hindi po siya si John Lloyd, no? But he will definitely help us understand and take advantage of the protection or the what is provided in our law. So pinromote ko talaga. May burger ako dito, DG Rowell. So maraming pong salamat. Ma'am, I need to go. Thank you very
Yes.
much, guys. So please follow us and I'll answer all the questions. Promise.
Okay, thank you very much,
Thank
ladies
you
and
po, ma'am. Thank you po.
gentlemen. Founding chair of the Asian Consulting Group, Mr. Mon Abria.